Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Prasada workshop, Letters of Gratitude. My name is Francine Bonjour-Carter, and I am your Prasada guide today. And I'm really happy to be here and talk about two things that I think are important in life. One is gratitude, and one is writing letters. So we're going to talk about how we combine these two things, and maybe my first invitation for you is to sense yourself in your seat, and we're gonna take a minute to be here and now together, and a few people are still coming in. So let's just take a minute and just sense your feet on the floor. I assume for the people I can see, they are sitting in their chair. So let's sense our feet on the floor, our pelvis on the chair. And you might sense that one side of your pelvis feels more present on the chair than the other side, and that's fine. We're kind of coming into center here for now. So sense your pelvis on your chair, the right side, the left side, how it connects to your right leg and your left leg. And then connect with your breathing. So notice your breathing. Don't try to do anything special with it. Don't force anything. Just let your breathing happen naturally. Sense the air coming in. You might sense the cool air through your nostril, your lungs filling up with air. And then on your exhale, you might sense the air, maybe warmer, coming through your nostrils, and you return to a neutral place in your chest, in your belly. And as you center yourself in this way and sense the rhythm of your breathing, when you inhale, when you breathe in, sense the expansion. And it's not only in your chest, in the front of you, but it's also on your sides, both sides near your armpits, on your back, in your abdomen, right? So when you breathe in, there's a fullness, there's an expansion, and you are not a flat person, you are three-dimensional, so you can feel it in every direction around you, that expansion, that movement of your breath. That's right. Great. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. So I want to talk about gratitude. Gratitude is the theme for November with Prasada. Every month there's a theme. And of course, November is for gratitude. I always go to the root of words because it's always an interesting invitation and exploration for me. And the word gratitude shares the same root as the word grace. And I find that interesting because I think in both of these words, we have a sense of space. And I find that having a gratitude practice, whether it's something you do every day for a week or for a month, or once a month for the whole year, or once a week for a few months or a season, having a gratitude practice really requires some space. And to me, it translates in a few ways. It requires space in our life in terms of time to take even 5 minutes, right? 5-10 minutes a day. You can do like a daily note about what you are grateful for, which doesn't take a lot of time, but it makes that space in your life, and it makes that space in your body. It really helps us center on what our values are, what is important for us. And it's almost like we put things back into place, right? Like we We let go of the more superficial and non-important thing when we are focused on gratitude, and we realize there's a big picture, there's a small picture. Where do I fit? What is happening in my life? What do I have appreciation for? And to ask ourselves that question regularly really help us clarify our values, which is the bedrock on which we behave and we are in our relationship and with our dreams and projects. And it also clarify what is important, what is less important. And it gives us a sense of being present that I think we lose easily with modern technology and with so much things everywhere all the time asking for our attention, right? And it might be things that we see on the screen and social media. It can be our life. If you have children, they need your attention. If you have a partner, they also need your attention on some level. Your work needs your attention. So there's a lot of giving of ourselves and of our time. And I see the giving of appreciation as a fulfillment, right? It's not a giving that depletes us. It's a giving that actually nourishes us, makes us find meaning, gives us meaning and nourishment. So I am a big advocate for a gratitude practice. And I'd like to give you a few examples of what it can look like. And before we do that, I am curious to know what gratitude looks like in your life. And you can type in the chat, and I'm going to read the response, the comments for us to share. But I'd love to know, or what do you think when you think gratitude? Do you have a specific image in mind? Do you have something that you used to maybe see or do when you were younger, or something that is new in your life? And I would like to give us a few. I think everybody can use a chat. And I will give us a few practices that we can all do and put in place. I think that's a very important thing to realize when we want to bring a practice of any kind in our life, is that it needs to be accessible and easy. We are more able to do something new and to have, especially if it's a practice, and to have consistency if it does not require that we change our whole life schedule and organization, right? I think that makes sense. So yeah, so the feeling of warmth in my heart when witnessing kindness. Oh, that's beautifully said. Yeah, that's right. When you witness kindness, I think it's even as potent, maybe not more, but as receiving kindness. But when you witness kindness or you give kindness, it's really, yeah, that feeling of warmth in our heart, right? It's like, okay, I'm here. I know who I am in some way. Appreciating the small as well as the big things. Yeah, that's very important in all the research about gratitude and appreciation, and how it actually is so important for our well-being and our health, mental health, physical health, how it regulates our nervous system. It shows that to be appreciative for the small things, the mundane things, is very, very important. Yeah. Thankful for the small things as well as the large. Yeah, again, waking up every morning, that's right, being an able-bodied, yeah, and for the people in my life, and to have a job, that's right. These are very important things to be grateful for, yeah. And realizing how lucky I have been in my life, for my parents and my opportunities, yeah. Being aware of the beauty in the world, yeah, seeing it, experiencing it, being authentic, who I am, breathing and health, that's right, and the people who surround me, yeah. Look at you, you can all take my spot here. Recognizing everything I'm thankful for and why. That is interesting. I'm thankful for it, and as well makes the feeling of gratitude much stronger. That is interesting. Why you are thankful for what you are thankful for. That's a very interesting reflection. Yeah. And very often it's when we lose something, or when we're almost about to lose something, that we realize how grateful we are, right? And I know everybody has been, sick at some point on maybe different levels. And when you're sick, you really become very aware that health is something to be thankful for. Yeah, and we all know people who battle some illnesses, and we can also, in contrast, realize that we are thankful to be healthy, for sure. Yeah. So a few ways that we can show our gratitude. So a daily practice, right? And again, a daily note. So don't be intimidated by having to take an hour every day to write something or to do a meditation. I think 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, whenever it works for you during the day, and just writing a few phrases, maybe 3 phrases, 3 things you are grateful for during the day. And again, it can be very mundane, it can be very small things. And it helps acknowledging the goodness we have, right? So you can also think about the goodness you have in your life, and maybe make a weekly note about what happened this week and what was part of the goodness that I have in my life. You can have a seasonal practice. I, for example, love to sit outside in front of my front door with my dog, usually on the steps, and just take 10 minutes. That's usually when I drink my tea or coffee. 10 minutes to just be appreciative. I don't have to write anything. I don't have to articulate it, but I am very present and appreciative for the moment I have and for being here. And that's my seasonal practice in the spring and in the fall, when it's not too hot, not too cold. And I like to do that. I try a few times a week. And again, 10 minutes really brings me in a place of gratitude and very centered as well. What else? Sharing your gratitude, of course, right? So sharing your appreciation with somebody, for somebody or for a place. I have a lot of different writing practices, and one of my writing practices is to be grateful for a place. And I like to write little notes. I usually use recycled paper, or this paper that has seeds in it. And I write to the river that's near my house, or I write to a specific tree. I write to a specific place, and just a few phrases of gratitude for what that place brings to me. And very often it's connected to my children. And I put it there. I just leave it on the earth, on a rock, in the water, if it's the river. And it's a way to show gratitude. It's almost like a prayer that is, not religious, but a prayer to a place, and showing or expressing my appreciation for the place, for sure. There's a saying that says that gratitude is what transforms a house into a home, a meal into a feast, and a stranger into a friend. And I really like this. And I really would like to invite each of us to see gratitude as an opportunity to make a connection and to make meaning, right? A meal becomes a feast, something that has a deeper value. A house into a home, which has this warmth and cozy, very authentic, genuine connection with you. And of course, a stranger into a friend. And we all need to be connected to other people. That is very vital for everybody. And that's what we are going to explore now with a little practice. I would like you to think about, so it's gonna be a mix with a place and a person, but I want you to think about a place or a person that you see every day and that you really like. Maybe it's a house that has a very nice garden in your neighborhood or on your way to work. Maybe it's the person who makes your coffee at the coffee shop in the morning. Maybe it is the driver of the bus you take. Maybe it is, again, a house or some place that you see from the train when you go to work. And we are going to write a little gratitude note to that place or person. And I do that very regularly. I'm a gardener and I love flowers and trees. And there are always places when I go to the grocery store, when I drop my children somewhere, that I notice, right? I notice a specific house. I love how they have arranged their garden, or I love how they do their Christmas decoration. And I will write on my phone the address, because I don't know the people, right? And I write the address, and then at home, I will write a little note, just a little card saying, "Hi, I drive every Wednesday because I drop my daughter to an activity and I drive in front of your house and it brings me so much joy. It is so nice. I love your garden. I love the color of your flowers. I hope you have a great day." And that's it. And it's very simple. I do that very often. My children think it's a little odd, but they get used to it. And it's very sweet. And I don't expect anything in return, right? It's really showing my appreciation. And we all know by experience that it warms our hearts and it just feels good. And it is a kind of joy to receive a letter or something in the mail, and then to receive a little note like this. And I think it's a free, accessible practice that we can all do anytime, and it's just a way to bring a little more happiness and appreciation in the world. So everybody was asked to bring a piece of paper and a pen, right? If you have a piece of paper like this, I would recommend that you actually fold it and cut it in two, because we are not going to write a long letter right here, because we don't have the time. We'll do that, or you'll do that. You'll be invited to do that later. So a note, we're going to write a note. And you can take a few minutes to think about that place that you see every day, that person that you see every day, who's not a friend or a family member, right? We are reaching out to the stranger. It's the stranger turned into a friend through gratitude. And then you start your letter, and you can because we don't know the name of the person, you can just start and tell your experience, like how you are connected to this person or this place, this house, this garden, whatever it is that you are writing to. So you tell them when you see it. And then write a few phrases to give your appreciation. And just simple words, authentic words, heartfelt words. So I'm gonna give you maybe 5 minutes to do this, okay? If you have any question, or if you don't know where to start, or if you feel shy or stuck, you can write in the chat, and I'll try to make some suggestions. 2 more minutes. Okay. If you are not done, you can finish later. So how did that feel? What did you think of this little practice? And you can unmute yourself and share briefly a few words about how you felt writing that note, thinking about the person you were writing, whether you know them or not. Does somebody want to share?
It felt really good. I was like smiling to myself as I did it, you know, kind of picturing how this person would react to receiving the note.
Right. Yeah. That's nice. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You felt a lot of love. Yeah. Right. Isn't that good? I mean, what else do we want to feel, right? If not a lot of love. Yeah. Anyone else wanted to share something about this experience? So I think really in the heart of this kind of practice, right? Write a letter or a small note of gratitude to somebody is connection, right? It's really feeling connected to another human being. And again, whether we know them or not, that doesn't really matter. I think it also say to the person, I see you, or I see a part of you. I see what you're doing with this garden, or I see you being at work every morning before I'm at work and serving me coffee, or, and that is so important, right? To be seen in the world, especially when everything is so busy all the time, to have somebody take the time. Right, handwriting is so important because it is such a personal connection. It's you on the paper. Right? Nobody has the same handwriting as you. And that's what you give to somebody when you give that note or letter. And that is an incredible experience. And it's more and more rare because we don't really use the epistolary connection or communication, which means from a letter, right? Handwriting a letter, because of technology and our modern life and modern ways of communication, but to write and to receive a handwritten letter really connects us in a deeper way than an email. That is very, very clear. And it is very touching to receive somebody's words on the paper. You can keep it. It has an emotional charge to it, right? And I see that all the time. I have a program where participants write letters to each other, and it's people from everywhere, and they don't know each other, but to receive somebody else's handwritten note or letter is very special and very touching. So that's the connection you just created, right? A really deeply human connection with someone, and telling them, I see you. I see something you do in the world. I see a part of you. And that is really priceless. That is very, very important for all of us, right? To be seen, to be heard, to be recognized for something that is authentic to who we are. So that's really the gift of gratitude, right? That's what we give when we give our appreciation to others. What else? I forgot. I had something in mind and it just escaped me. Yeah, it's because it's the same than giving a gift, right? Like if you give a gift that is really, that fits the person, that really matches who they are, that is authentic, that you know is unique for them and will be spot on, that's what you're saying. You say, I see you, I know who you are, and I have put some thoughts and time and reflection into what I am giving to you, because I really want to show my appreciation for who you are as a person. So that is the gift of gratitude in my view. The invitation, which we cannot do here because we won't have the time, and it's really something that requires some quality of presence that takes a little more time, but it's to write a real letter of gratitude. So as I said, I have a program where people write letters. So I have a few suggestions for you. If you want to write a letter, first I want you to think about who you want to write a letter of gratitude, right? And that will be somebody you know this time. It's a little different than the note we just created. And though very often people don't know how to start the letter, right? So I would suggest that you start with something that might be very mundane. I remember a few years ago, I wrote a letter. I used to write a letter and send it to everyone who wanted it. So I had a lot of people on my list. And I started to write about the weather, which is the most mundane thing, right? And I remember I was writing and I was like, why am I writing about the clouds and the weather? Like nobody really cares. But then that train of thought connected me to my dad, who always, so I'm from France, I live in the US, we would call each other. And he always told me about the weather in my hometown. And sometimes I was annoyed at it. And then I realized it's a way to connect with me, right? So I talked about that in my letter. And then I talked about my dad passing away and his life and all of very vulnerable and deep emotional things. And that letter was great, right? It felt good to write it. I had a lot of messages about how it was touching. And so I realized that when we want to go into a deeper, like personal place, very often the entrance, the door into that place is something very mundane. So you can start by talking about the weather. You can start by talking about maybe a song that you like and you heard, something that happened during your week that is very mundane, the coffee shop at the corner or the grocery store where you go, something really neutral, right? And then you will make association, right? Because that's how our brains work. You make association, and then you keep your train of thoughts. And the big picture will be to connect with that person and tell them how you are grateful for who they are in your life. So maybe you can also start by sharing a memory with them, right? Something that you remember, or something that you remember they said, and you talk about that, and then you bring it to them and to that experience. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. And then express your appreciation, right? Again, remember that it's about seeing the person. It's about them, who they are, how they show up in the world, what they bring around them to you specifically, and telling them how you are appreciated. Maybe it's somebody who helped you, maybe it's professional, maybe it's personal, somebody who helped you or who had a very important presence in your life at some point. And then you send the letter, right? So you put their address and on the envelope a stamp, and you send the letter. And I know there are practices of letters of gratitude where we keep the letters. I think the world needs a lot of kindness and connection, so I'm all about sending them. Send the letters, give them to the people, right? And really create this connection. And it's really a tapestry, right? What we weave consciously, what we weave with our intention and our appreciation is so needed, and it's so important in the time and place where we live. And so I think we should not be shy about it. And it's also something that you can do not only during the end of the year in the season of gratitude and holidays, but also throughout the year, right? You can create yourself a little basket with cards and stationery paper, your favorite pen. I love fountain pens, so that's my go-to. And then you block an hour on your schedule once a month, and you write a letter of gratitude to somebody. And maybe somebody you know, maybe somebody you don't know, right? Maybe sometime you have less time, so you just do the little note like what we did today. But I think it's an easy, accessible act to do, and the ripples of it can go far, far, far into people's hearts. And I think it's important. So who has somebody in mind? Who is, and I'm not going to be, watching if you do it or not, but who does this talk to you, right? And do you feel, thank you, Megan, bye-bye. Do you feel that you know how to start, and you have somebody in mind to whom you will be able to write? We are past our time. Yeah, I get thumbs up. Yeah, great. Yeah. Great. Okay. Thank you so much. All right. Don't hesitate to get in touch if you have any question. My name is Francine Bonjour-Carter. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining Prasada. You can find my website at francinebonjour.com, and Prasada will send you the recording of this session so you can go back to our practice. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful for you. Bye-bye.